All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after a seasonal break from Thanksgiving. And for those of you who don't have Thanksgiving in America, I hope yours was good the month before, whenever it was. We recently, I have a few announcements. I will be gone, unfortunately, next week, so we will be off again for our session on the 7th. But after that, we should be good for our regular scheduled weekly show from then on. Um, my brother Bronix is gone tonight, and he may be back on the 14th, I believe. We still haven't figured out his schedule, but he will be back at some point. From there, I think any other announcements anyone has? Nope. Oh, all right, then we'll get into our recap for the refresher of last session on the what was it, like 20 something. Anyway, we recently had a visitation from Ear to Black Skull after you soundly defeated the mushroom statues which were terrorizing the city. You heard a slight whisper of a very eerie sounding name from one of the remaining creatures as it was struck down. From there, Ear to Black Skull came about to try and enlist aid, and she did a little bit of damage. She wasn't quite the showmanship like Bronix or Navarre dealing all that damage, but there was still a few answered questions from her, and then she told you that she would be summoning you in the short, which she did. I think the following day she asked y'all to be a part of her inquisition into the events of the adult red dragon unleashing mayhem on the city. Um, she found out quite a bit about what happened, and she played to some of her understanding of what y'all's personalities are like, using Navarre as a very brutally honest person to reveal some information, and then even more so with Barrius, who unleashes information like it's his job. From there, she was able to determine that y'all indeed did have a significant amount of impact in the events that transpired. So she informed you that you would be taken before the monarch of the city, the Deep King Hogar Steel Shadow the Fifth, I believe, maybe the seventh, and he will give his final deliberation on your fate. She informed you that y'all are being watched throughout the city and that any sort of escape would be ill-advised. She also gave a little mention saying that she would do whatever she could to prevent any ill fate towards you at the end of this discourse. So I leave you there, the three of you, trying to figure out what you're going to do. No, you would have undergone a long rest. So that reminds me, I need Constitution saving throws, Wisdom saving throws, and an additional Wisdom saving throw from Barrius as well. That's fine. So you are dancing, and you have Grackle Lung. Croy, you're fine. Sure. All right. That's uh. You know what? How about you just make a Wisdom saving throw at disadvantage? We'll go the middle ground. You would have failed either one. You would have failed either one. Um. Okay. So I'm actually gonna move you to private chat. Don't kick. That would be horrible. uh, all right. So, in the midst of your slumbering sleep with the relative leftover effects from the fight with the mushrooms, you do begin to have a fading effect of horrible dreams begin to enter again. Something you almost recognize. Um, you see a flood of visions come in, and you start to feel as your head's on fire, but at the same time, a sense of euphoria. It begins to shift back and forth like a duality of feelings and pain. But you start to see a pair of feuding beings. They are locked in some sort of feuding, like a feud. One of them is very slender and feminine in form. She's tall and her body is covered in fleshy fungus, some of which forms a large headdress, almost like a veil. The other figure has an oozing amorphous shape with strange red eyes floating and shifting throughout its body, made of swirling black and green bubbling slime. They seem locked in an internal struggle. It is a grotesque sight as you see minions of each thrown against the other. Eventually, your vision begins to fade, you awake, and begin to spin and dance. All right, you can go back to D&D chat. Okay, so Navarre, you succeed your wisdom save, I think. No, no, it's 15, so you've just failed it. So you are dancing as well. But yes, y'all wake up in the morning, still a little bit reeling from the previous fight, and obviously the hesitance of what you might have to do to survive the Inquisition that is upon you. What do y'all do at the beginning of the morning? Uh, well, it's included in your night's meals the entire day. Your little creature, you could spend a few copper on a plate of fungus.